How's it going, guys? Jake Baker, Bloomington Edge here to talk all things football with you as always. Here to talk some more fantasy football. Let's start with our Week 2 standouts. First guy we're talking about, Tom Brady, had a huge game this week, 447 yards, 3 touchdowns. Finally saw that New England offense that's going to come to life. 30.78 points, just a huge day for him. C.J. Anderson, 118 yards, 1 touchdown, 36 reception yards, and another touchdown, 27.4 points. He was a huge factor in that big win over the Cowboys. It was a lot of fun to watch him play. Had some big scores at the end there. Michael Crabtree, 80 yards, really effective in the red zone. He had 3 touchdowns, definitely the go-to target there for Oakland in the red zone. 26 points for him. Todd Gurley coming out of his shell, being more effective, moving outside and catching passes outside the pocket. Not really worried too much about just getting his yards through the ground. So he had really good receptions this week. Got 23.6 points, and I'm sure everyone's hitting themselves now for not drafting Todd Gurley a little higher. I know a lot of people were disappointed in him last season, but this year he's really coming back to his form, so I think he's going to keep doing that this year. Kareem Hunt, like I said, he's going to be a guy this year. He's going to keep producing. If you've been watching the show, I can't emphasize how much I like Kareem Hunt. He is all about north and south running. He gets yards up the field. He was really effective, had a couple long runs in this week's game, and the Chiefs are staying hot. And then Ty Montgomery, another guy that Charles and I covered on our show, someone who's going to be a dual threat, someone who can line up in the backfield and run the football as well as line up in the slot and create problems with those matchups with the linebackers. Had another big week, 35 rushing yards with a touchdown, 75 reception yards and a touchdown. Even though the Packers lost against the Falcons, he still had his impact on the game. Just some injury updates for you guys. Dak Prescott, I know he had an ankle injury. Didn't play real good in that game, but he's going to be good to go in Monday night's game, and sources are saying. Jordy Nelson, he had a quad strain in last week's game against the Falcons. He's 50-50 to play this Sunday, so we're going to see. I'm sure they're going to want to get him healthy, so just keep an eye on him. Rob Gronkowski, at the end of his interview, he said that he was going to be fine, not to worry about it, but they put him on the day-to-day, so he's probably not going to practice at the beginning of the week, but I'm sure he's going to be good to go this week. Greg Olsen, he's going to, unfortunately, this is tough for a lot of fantasy owners. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. He's going to undergo foot surgery. That's a tough loss for a lot of guys. Jimmy Graham, say he had ankle soreness, which I don't really know. I feel like a lot of guys play through that type of stuff, but he may not be able to play this week, so he kind of tweaked his ankle. But he'll be out this week, I believe. And then Andrew Luck, he's out indefinitely with his shoulder injury, so he's definitely not playing this week. Just a link at the bottom here. There's just to keep updated, now the injuries are getting a little more overwhelming going into the season. I can't cover them all in this short little segment. This is the source I use to keep myself updated on people that are injured on the defense, not just offensive guys. So definitely give that a look and keep yourself updated on the injuries throughout the league. Here are next week's matchups. I like a couple of next week's matchups. I'm excited to see what the games are going to entail there. So the Falcons and Detroit Lions, I think those are two guys that are going to have really good weeks. Or really good football teams, and are going to have it's going to be a good week to watch them play and see who's going to outperform the other. Two dynamite offenses, 2 really good quarterbacks. It's going to be cool to watch. I'm gonna like to keep an eye on the Kansas City Chiefs, who have just been super hot lately. The Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans. So pause the video, check those matchups up, see what your key players are, what teams they're going up against, what the defenses have been doing. So pause the video, give that a look. My next week picks, I got Jay Ajayi. He had a solid week on the ground last week. He didn't get in the end zone, but he had about 120 yards rushing, so he had a really good week. And they're playing the struggling Jets, so I don't know why I wouldn't pick Jay Ajayi. He's a real solid back, and I think he's going to have a big week. Cam Newton playing New Orleans. We saw Tom Brady pick apart the New Orleans defense, and they're not super strong on defense, so I think that Cam Newton's going to do the same. They've had a struggling running game going with McCaffrey and those guys down there, but I think Cam Newton's going to pick apart that defense. Odell, he had a disappointing debut, his team especially. So I think he's going to come back and want to show what he's got. So expect him to respond this week. Le'Veon Bell, he had a slow start. He can bounce back against the Bears. The Bears defense struggles with running backs coming out of the backfield. So an important thing, just watch Le'Veon Bell. I think he's going to come back. A lot of people say that, the Bears, it's tough to go and play in Soldier Field because they don't play on turf, and a lot of teams are used to playing on turf. But I don't think that's going to be too much of a factor in this game as long as it stays pretty dry out there. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers coming off a loss. I don't even want to know the gross statistic that is Aaron Rodgers coming off a loss and if he bounces back or not. I'm sure he has. He's going to have a really big game. They're at home this week. I expect Aaron Rodgers to have a big week, so definitely start your Aaron Rodgers this week. All right, so I just want to thank you guys. As always, check us out on Facebook, on Twitter. Look at our website for any upcoming events in the community. Check out some of our ticket packages. We're coming up again. Our season starts in March, so be sure to just give us a look. And hope you guys have another good fantasy week. Thanks.